Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another epic, interesting episode of Conversation. And today I have a special car. Hii gari imepigwa request ingine noma sana, so I had to turn up today and make sure that you guys get to see what I'm talking about. Before that, you know what you need to do, right? Kama uja subscribe, kindly do the honors. Hit that subscription button, leave me a comment, share this video to as many people as you can so that we get to show how awesome our reviews are and people get to make the right decisions where they're going to buy their car. So what do we have today? Today we have the Toyota MARKX. In second gen, so this is the GRX 130. But I'm going to tell you or share a lot of information all the way from the first gen even to the second gen. So you guys stay put. Let's see where we can go with this. So do we start from the first gen? Let me talk about the MARKX. So the MARKX is the car that came to replace the Mark II. Even though they say it's not supposed to be pronounced as a Mark 10, that's why inaitwanga MARKX na iko na hiyo X hapo mbele. But the first gen is what came to replace the Mark II. And something unique before I get to this generation of this MARKX, the first gen, there are a few distinct things that we need to put to bed at this early stage. The first gen, the GRX 120, did a lot in terms of sharing the underneath. You know, the structure, basically it was based on the Mark II to one element. It was based on the Mark II, even though it had newer engines. The Mark II is what we had, the nicer engines that you guys love on the Toyota platform. The 2JZs, the 1JZs, zilikuwa huko nyuma. And you guys love those engines because they were iconic, epic in terms of performance, and you could tune the hell out of them. But then when they moved into the MARKX era, they kept a bit of the underneath setups, but they did do a lot in terms of switching up the engine. So we had the newer engines. The same you will get on this car, and we'll talk about those engines when we get into it. But this particular generation of the MARKX, this is a second gen, all the way from 209, because ile GRX 120 lisha 208, so all the way from 209 to 2019. Hizo ni miaka ngapi? 209, 29, those are 10 years of proper production of the MARKX. So this one was designed on a new platform that Toyota calls the N platform. Here on the same platform utapata Lexus GS, the same platform utapata Crown. Remember even the first MARKX Crown zilikuwa based on the Mark II. So they were totally different. But on this one, they are all synchronized into one. So this is what you can confidently say it shares a platform with the Crown and the Lexus GS. Ile ya kwanza kidogo, it was different, okay? So let's dive into this car. So if you're planning to buy this car, what are you looking at? Let's talk about the trim levels. Trim levels hapa ni mingi, na kuna pia special units zenye utapata kwa hii gari. But before that, can you look at how this car really appears on the eyes? It is a simple car. Of course, you have the X pale mbele kuambia it is a MARKX, and then you have these headlights. Now, these headlights unaziona hapa on this unit, these are aftermarket headlights. Hizi nafikiri za Taiwan, meaning this car has had a bit of work done to it, and I believe it has a repaint job all around it. Na hiyo ni kitu tutaongea juu yake because the MARKX guys have had issues around, you know, keeping their cars in mint condition. But what you get here is a set of headlights, fog lights hapo chini. 209 to 2019, there are two facelifts that were done on this car. The first one was done in 2012. Okay, so 2012, there's a bit of changes on the front. A lot of changes, by the way, to make this car look awesome. Headlights zilichukua shape tofauti hapo inakaa kama L. Very nice. Fog lights, new design. And then we got a second facelift from 2016. Now, the 2016 is what is a killer because hapa kwa fog light kuna shape hapa inakaa ni kama inatonga British Bulldog. Inakaa, it is a shape that car has, but it looks nice. I tend to think that the last design is what makes this car pop out. It's what makes the MARKX a MARKX. But the beauty of it is, you can still buy this car and facelift the entire generation of this car. These are 209. You can take this car and still, you know, wrap it up to a 2019 version because underneath there is very little that has changed. It's still the same car. The engines are still the same. Everything else is still the same. Side profile, it's a kawaida MARKX. There's nothing much going on. It's just a trimline better sized car that you can drive comfortably and carry people comfortably. Hizi ni kawaida kwa standard MARKX. We'll talk about the trim level, but for the standard one, like the lower base trim, you get these wheels both at the front, and then these are alloys, and then you have discs at the front and the rear. You get McPherson strut at the front and a multi-link suspension system at the rear. Kuja kwa nyuma, very interesting. Again, a bit of a redesign huku nyuma from the first gen to the second gen, but most importantly, first gen inakuanga na diffuser kubwa ya exhaust hapa, alafu hiyo ndo inatoa exhaust tip. So in this one, wal delete your diffuser, wakatengenezea clear exhaust tip diffuser yake. You see that has a diffuser, and then this one again has a diffuser, and then it comes all the way to the rear, which makes this car look nice. Away from that, you have the 250G badge and the MARKX, and again a bit of new redesign in comparison to the first gen. Headlights zimeka a bit different. Hapo tuko chonjo. Kuna redesign nyingine ilifanyika hapa. Let me open the hood. Usiniambie lazima nifinye huko mbele. Oh, there's a button here. I almost got angry, but the button is not working. So let me show you something else that was changed from the previous gen. Where are you? That is hiyo ni mbele. I've just opened the front. So now the first gen, hapa kulikuwa na zile strut, umeelewa, zile za kushikilia boot, but hapa walienda na hinges. You can see now, right now we are using hinges to hold up there, umeona. So hakuna zile shock absorber za kushikilia hii boot juu. So those are a few things you need to know that were done to upgrade this MARKX. This car has been given to me by Moretti Ride Space, ako hapo Hurlingham, and he's the guy who's made possible for us to have this particular car. Now let's talk about the trims, because hizo zinakuja na a lot of dynamics, a lot of different things. But let's just talk about the trim. So you can get this car in a base model, which is this one. You can also get it in a premium, which is a slightly improved version in terms of this. It has better things in the interior, you know, even the suspension setup. Actually, the premium, you can also get it with what Toyota calls AVS, adaptable variable suspension, which can tune the car to feel sporty. Suspension inakuwa a bit stiff. At the same time, unaweza ifanya ikuwe comfortable, which is very dope technology. It's dope for the person driving the car, but it's very expensive because those shock absorbers ziko electrically controlled, so meaning they are very expensive. You can literally call them electric shock absorbers. So that is different from what you get here. So ukinunua MARKX Premium yenye iko na button ya sport, unaweza change suspension ku stiffen, then no, it has the AVS. AVS ni system imetumika kwa gari mob za Toyota. Hata Lexus you'll get AVS, even Prados, the TZGs, they have AVS. So that is a standard mechanism of suspension that you'll get across many Toyotas. So hiyo ni premium. Pia utapata a bit of difference in terms of the interior. Utapata zingine ziko na Alcantara. So that is the premium. And then you go ahead of it, you get what we call the sport. So sport is the highest trim, a different aggressive face going on. So initially kulikuanga na kitu inaitwa GS. So in the early phases we had the GS. So the sport is what will mimic the looks of a GS. But right now from 2016, GS was dropped. Right now we are working with GR. Hapo tuko sawa, tuko game. Now those are the 3 trim levels that you get. But there are also special trims that you can get on this particular car. Hizi trim zote, from the standard to the premium to the sport, zinakujanga na a different set of engine options. And we'll get to dissect that when we talk about what is under the hood. But let me talk about the special units. So there is a project that Toyota did with Modelista, and they created what we call the MARKX M Supercharger, ama Vertiga, that's how they call it. And that is them taking this car with all the sport, you remember the sport package, okay? Ile tulisema sport package, hiyo trim ya mwisho, sport, hizo luku zote. And then what they did is they took the engine, which was a 2GR, 3500cc, and supercharged it to give out an output of 355 HP. So that is a special trim. And the second special unit on this car is what we call the GR. So remember we got rid of the GS, as I said earlier. So GR again, kwanza GR inakaa fiti, my lord. Me, I consider the GR one of the best looking version of this car. And the GR, unaweza ipata na 250S, meaning you can still get it with a 4GR. But if you want to go higher, you can still get it with a 2GR. So kuna 250S na kuna 350S. which is dope. Hiyo ni unit ngapi? Ya pili, special. Let's go to the third unit. Third special unit is what Toyota calls the GRMN, which is again a collaboration between Toyota and one of their subsidiary company that is called CARSURE Racing. So what they did is they took the MARKX. Again, you can get it, it's based on the highest powerful spec of the GR, which is the 3500cc 2GR. Sasa hiyo, wakachukua hiyo yenye ilikuwa powerful hiyo. And that was a special car. And then it was tuned by a guy from CARSURE Racing. So GRMN basically in full is CARSURE Racing tuned by a master of the Nürburgring. So it was a special edition. I think for 2019, they were only produced 350 units. Sijui kama tunaweza ipata Kenya. But I know, I've seen recently a video of guys with a VAB that is RAR, which is like 500 units in the whole Japanese market. But kuna mtu Kenya ameileta. I think it's just one of one. So I believe if you know your game around these things, you can still get that particular unit. So you imefanyiwa mambo mingi sana, like there's a bit of modification down to the sport, iko na BPS wheels. It's just a crazy car. Instead of me telling you everything, let me just run a few cutaways here and you guys can see how all these cars look like. So those are the full trims that you can get when you plan to buy this car. But sisi tunabakingi hapa chini. Okay, so let's talk about what we can get or we can access easily. So you can either get a premium, a sport, ama kama umeenda kidogo, the GR, which is commonly what you'll find in good numbers kutoka Japan. Now let's get down to details on why this car should be among the cars that you need to consider when you're planning to buy your car, especially if you're looking into comfort, if you're looking into a bit of style, because I consider this a very stylish car, and also if you're looking at just proper cabin space, especially if you're planning to haul around your family. You know, if you can't buy yourself an Atenza, if you can't buy yourself the E-Class, if you can't buy yourself even a Honda Accord, then this is the car you should be looking at. So tuanzie wapi? Tuanze na what is under the hood, because I've told you what is the suspension. Let's talk about what is under the hood and how special is this car to so many other people. Inafunguliwa wapi MARKX? Yeah? Yeah? Oh, imejificha. Okay. There you go. So I told you this car has been painted, so utaona remnants of paint kidogo. And that is something that we need to discuss, because watu wengi wa MARKX, this is one of the most difficult thing that they have as a conversation. Unapatanga zimeguzwa sana, zimelimalimwa sana. But let's get into it. So under the hood of this car is a simple engine. It's called the 4GR, 2500cc of engine displacement. And again, something special about this engine in comparison to the previous gen, hii engine imekuwa detuned. I don't know whether it's special. It's a bad thing, right? Because kama umekunyang'anya horsepower, wame-detune. So whereas the first gen, it was giving you more power. The same engine will give you around 213 HP. Hii wameirudisha chini paka 200. And the reason because it has been detuned, it's because of, again, emissions. And they're trying to consider fuel economy, because mulilalamika sana kwa GRX 120. Gari inakunywa mafuta. So in this one, they did all that to make sure that you get better fuel economy. And the third thing, which is very important, is imagine on a V6 only pushing out 200 HP. It means longevity and reliability on this plant is top-notch. Hapo tuko sawa. Let's get into what is unique about this engine. Now, this engine, across the board, and something else that you guys need to know is MARKX jai change. Like everything, all the engines all the way kutoka mwanzo paka mwisho, you still get the 4GR, you still get the 3GR, and you still get the 2GR. Okay? Ukienda China ndo wako na kitu inaitwa 5GR, but 5GR basically it's just a name, but it's still based on the 4GR. So see kitu different. So let's talk about what's special about this particular engine, the 4GR. Special thing number one, hii engine iko na dual fuel injection system. So you get your direct injection fuel system, and also get your port injection, which is very good for carbon washing, okay? Because direct injection inakuanga very weak when it comes to building up carbon. So if you have port injection and direct injection, it means this engine can be optimized for performance, but when you're doing mild driving, you know, your engine will be washed properly, fuel will flow in. You remember the lesson I did on this SX4? Fuel inaingia kwa port, ina flow nyuma ya valves, inaosha valves zako, inaingia ndani ya cylinder. Kuna bado injection ingine happen kwa cylinder, zinakutana pale na air, na spark, ignition, gari imeishia. Very happy moment. That's how you get your power. But in case you're doing mild driving, you know, this car is able to change and switch between which injection type to use, so that it keeps you optimal on fuel economy and just easy driving. Sawa. Paired to this engine is a 6-speed automatic transmission that is very reliable. It feels good to drive, but you need to make sure that you service it on time. Most people neglect that transmission until you 200,000 kilometers. The recommended time for that service is actually 60,000 kilometers on the Kenyan soil. So make sure you service that gearbox on time. It will serve you very well. It will serve you very well. And then stop or play low when it comes to erratic shifting. Erratic shifting, unaweka hii gari kwa manual mode na unaanza kuhold magia sana na unazichange. Inafanya transmission na heat up, and every time the transmission heats up, you guys don't understand. Most people talk about the CVT and heat, and they forget that every transmission heats up. Okay, so the temps are not good for transmission. Kwa sababu ndani ya transmission, they are what we call clutches. And those clutches, when they are predominantly exposed to heat, they burn. And when those clutches burn, it means they cannot be able to shift your gear from number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. So it is important to keep your transmission temperatures low. And how do you do that? Service on time. Avoid holding gears or redlining all the time. Make sure the car cools down perfectly or efficiently. So those are a few things that you need to make sure that you do. And service the gearbox on time. Hapo tuko sawa? Very nice. Now, on the previous gen, you can get this car in 2 configurations. You can also get it in a 4-wheel configuration, and you can also get it in a 2-wheel configuration, which is rear wheel biased. So this one is a rear wheel bias. It's not a 4-wheel drive, but ukipata 4-wheel drive itaitwa 250G4. Sawa? And the 4-wheel drive, if you buy the previous gen, it came with a 5-speed auto. So kama ulinunua GRX 120 iko na 4-wheel, bro uko na 5-speed automatic, si 6-speed. But the good thing on this platform, the GRX 130 will improve, so even the 4-wheel on this comes with a 6-speed automatic transmission. Niliwaambia ile GR na GRMN zinatumia Tosen AWD, si 4-wheel drive here Toyota. So torque sensing, it means it's able to send power to where you need it. And you can also, Tosen mostly is used in Audi, so it means you can bias the rear for more power, so it can allow you do things like donuts and all that, even though your car is 4-wheel drive. So hizo special units ziko na hiyo. Ile supercharged, supercharged, hiyo iko na hiyo, na GRMN iko na hiyo. So ukinunua hizo gari, ukibarikiwa kupata hizo gari, jua uko na WD system ingine moto kama pasi. What other engine options do you get? So you can get this, the 350. It's called the 350S. Kama ni sport, ama the 350. You can get it with the 2GR. At the same time, you can get it with the 3GR. It is a 3000. So 4GR 2500, 3GR 3000, then 2GR the most powerful 3500cc. Unaweza zipata hapo. So choice ni yako. Nafikiri 2GR basic bila kufanywa hizo vitu zingine na push around 315 HP. So if you want more power, of course you go for the 2GR. Hii ingine iko around 260 something, which is dope. Okay, that's what you get. All of them paired to 6-speed automatic transmission. Let's talk about the interior and see how special is this car in the interior. Kwa interior inanga mambo mingi. So this is one of the most comfortable car you can buy in the market right now. This is the basic one. So unaipata na cloth interior, plastic padding hapo, a bit of wood finish hapo hivi, na iko na kichana. Sijui alikuwa anaendesha hii gari, but ni sawa. Cloth interior, very comfortable. Just look at that. Very comfortable. Vijana wameweka equipment pale, but these are very comfortable seats. Let me just sit into them so that you guys can see. Very comfortable. I think one of the reasons why people actually buy this car is because of this. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. Na hii iko electric, eh? So for the driver and the passenger, You get electric seats. You get your driving mode, so you can do snow or sport. Then you have your eco mode. Those guys who complained about the GRX 120 na fuel economy, Toyota made it possible for you to have eco mode, which now in turn activates what we call cylinder demand, meaning you can shut down a set of cylinders and drive with another set of cylinders, and that gives you very good fuel economy. We'll do that when you're driving on the road so that muone fuel economy inacheza aje. You have a start stop button hapo hivi, so kuna maneno ya ufunguo. If you had the one that comes with AVS, hizo buttons zinakuanga hapo. Unaona hapa kuna button wameziweka hapa. Inaitwa poor man's spec. Let me just shut off this one because somebody is calling me. So the buttons will be there, so you can change from sport, blah 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 blah, all those things. Wood finish, you can store your cup holders hapo mbili. Na mtu ameweka hapa smartwatch yake, which is do good. And then you have your phone compartments hapo hivi. Then you have another storage compartment hapa. Iko na kajuice hapo, unaweka phone zako hapo. You have your 12 volt socket hapo hivi. What do you get here? Hii ni mahali unaweza weka ka ash tray kako, unaweza weka moshi. It's just a proper comfortable car. If you get this car with a sunroof, it's very dope, looks good. You can put your specs there. It's a functional easy car. Like this is something dope. Just an easy car. You get your traditional cluster. Na hii by the way ni telescopic but unaifanya manual so unaona that you can bring it towards you. If you buy the Lexus GS, this is electronic. So ukiingia kwa gari kiti narudi nyuma, and then the steering adjusts to your height, and you could also get an option of having memory seats. And that can also happen on your next level in terms of trim. So ukienda premium pia, I know there are premium that have that. Okay? Hapo nyuma, it's a pretty comfortable car. I don't know whether you guys want me to sit there, but it's a very premium, comfortable car. It has a transmission tunnel, so it doesn't favor a third guy who wants a lift. The only thing I hate is this crappy, how do we call this? This infotainment say, I believe this is aftermarket, but you can delete the entire set here and have here, your Android radio. Kwanza inatoshea kama ka 8-inch hapa hivi poa sana. You can do your Android radio here and just make this car feel awesome. So the only thing we need to do now is drive this car. But before we drive this car, let's talk about something else that you guys don't know. And on the trims, there's something I need to teach you so that when you're going to buy these cars, ujue mnajiulizanga, najuaje gani ni 4-wheel ama gani ni si 4-wheel, sawa? So if you come to the best model like this one here, you can see the transaxle code, it is GRX 130. Ukiona hapa 135, ujue hiyo ni 4-wheel drive. Sawa? And then the highest specs nilikuwa naambia, the special units, they'll go by 133, but there's also a 131. So 131 ni just different years and different models that have been tuned differently, and they're giving out different power outputs. So you can either get a 130 stroke 135. 131 is the Chinese market, and then in the Japanese market, they're high spec, the one that have been tuned and all that, they go by the code name 133, especially so GRMN, GR Sport. Yeah, most of them you'll find them with the 133 chassis code. Hapo tuko sawa? Let's continue. So guys, welcome to the driving experience of the MARKX. Niko hapa na one legendary guy that I have on the team. We are Jemo, Mr. Jemo. Say hi to the people.
Yes.
Now the reason I have Jemo here, it's kwa sababu Jemo, in fact, hii review imekuwa inspired na Jemo. Because Jemo, just like most of you, are looking at this review and planning to buy this. Kama unajua endesha gari kama mtu amekunywa weed. KCF 390V Touareg. Na uko na majani chini ya gari. What is wrong with you? Anyway, cha tuendelee na shughuli. Tuko angwana. Si ndio Jemo? So I was saying this review has been inspired by James. James is a guy who's looking forward to own and buy a MARKX. Kwanza nakuanga MARKX gani unataka kununua? Usiniambie ni basic.
No, mimi naweza buy. Okay, I'm thinking of a very clean
yes.
120 if the budget allows.
Okay.
But if I get some good money kidogo,
yes.
I'll buy this one from 2013.
The one that has gotten a facelift from 2012.
Yes, that's right.
You know your stuff, bro. You know your stuff. Unataka premium ama unataka kutafuta two base model because of your budget, and then you work because you're a young guy. I know budget right now ni vitu zinakuwa considered.
Yes.
So
nanua tu standard, yes. Then I slap it in with a 2GR.
Unataka kufanya kama X-Fish?
Yes. X-Fish kuna 3 liter.
Kuna 3 liter.
2GR.
So unataka 3.5?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So now, one thing instantly mina feel, and that is something that we always talk about. Come on, buy MARKX. How smooth and comfortable these cars are. You can literally feel hata hizo gear switches out ski. Like it's a very smooth. Angalia tumekaa. Hii mguu hata nimekunja sijui kama muoni. But hii mguu imekaa design yenye inaweza kaa kama niko kwa Mercedes. It's very wide. Angalia space between mimi na Jemo. Very dope space. I think what wanna buying gonna buy GS space.
Yes, very true.
Wewe niambie kama young guy because it's this guy is attracting young guys. Kaa wewe sasa utajefikisha 25 bro. Already umeplan to buy MARKX.
I'm going to 26.
You're going to 26? Tell me why the MARKX? So what are the reasons for you?
It's cheap to maintain.
Yes.
And it's high misungui. The only thing I have to think about is fuel. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
So the money you're saving from maintenance unaweka kwa fuel.
Yes.
So ununue tu gari reliable alafu uweke.
Afadhali ni park nichukue matatu lakini najua niko na gari high misungui.
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa. Mimi nataka kuongea vitu mbaya kidogo. Nimwambia jamaa all the good things about this car.
Yes.
Instantly. Do you feel this car has more road noise? Because you ongea juu ya MARKX, mnajaribu kuipiti against proper cars like Benzes and Lexus. Do you hear the noise that we are getting from outside?
Actually,
yes.
It's debatable depending on the unit you get.
Okay.
Yes.
So this basic road noise ni mingi. You go up, it becomes better.
Yes.
So you buy the premium, as you go up better. Of course, it also goes without saying the higher you go, the better you get in terms of performance. Dope. Perfecto. Kitu ingine mbaya niongee juu ya gari ni behavior zenyu nyinyi watu mnanunua hizi magari. Unaona sasa wewe utanunua hii gari unaanza kutusumbua sana unaanza kutusumbua. So I don't know, like this one I feel there's a bit of work that has been done to it, and I believe it's down to how it has been kept or maybe driven. So one thing me wambia say, if you're buying a MARKX, pre-purchase inspection important because hizi ndi gari zinakuanga more susceptible to abuse from the owners. So keenly look at those cars. Hii engine itakupeleka 500,000 kilometers bila shida. The gearbox is dope if you keep it in shape. Like ni gari venye umesema, they are easy cars to keep, they are easy cars to drive, they are easy cars to own. Hapo tuko sawa? But kwa hii mimi sioni kitu ya maana zongelea juu yake. Mimi ni mtu napenda luxury.
Mercedes I understand.
Yeah. Labda if I was to buy this car, I would rather buy the counterpart, which is the Crown. But this one, no. Okay, premium iko na bit better options, but I've never been a MARKX guy. I don't think I will ever be. Yeah, but I appreciate guys who buy. Maybe if I try, I can do the Lexus GS. In fact, I love the Lexus GS. So I will not buy the MARKX. I will not buy the Crown, but I'll do the Lexus GS. Especially if I get the 350 kwenda juu.
Which Crown are you talking about? Are you talking about the 2008 to 20?
No, the same Crown that this car shares, the second gen. Yeah. The same gen that.
I'll also buy that.
Yes. So kuna konga na kitu moja watu wa MARKX wanapenda kuchocha. Semanga MARKX inakimbia. So leo niko na dragi, wewe uko hapa. Unajua watu wa MARKX wana confusing sauti ya 4GR na gari kukimbia. So I want us to take ourselves into a position and do a pull. And then you and me can confirm whether ni kelele mnakuanga mnasikia. Sikia hiyo kelele. Nafikiri unasikianga hiyo, nafikiria gari inatoka. Because again we said power hii iko detuned. Nafikiri hiyo ni kitu tunajua, na hiyo detuning ni kitu poa na ni kitu mbaya at the same time. Walikunyang'anya power but walikupatia more longevity in terms of reliability, na pia fuel economy iko slightly better. Kama sasa tuna average 9.4 km per liter, ukinunua GRX 120 utakuwa unacheza 8 kurudi chini. Ama 7 kama. So sasa hiyo detuning hapo inasaidia. Plus in the long run, engine kubwa kama hii inapeana power kidogo, it's a good thing because inamaanisha iko more reliable, itakaa muda mrefu. Na hii pia iko na eco mode. GRX 120 ina eco mode. So umeona sasa? Very nice. So Mr, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So now I have to put this car in sport mode and hope it will do something. Let me get the coast is clear. The coast is becoming clear. I think we are very good. Let me go to the road so that we do this. Are you ready? We do this? Chawe jamaa ingie. The coast must be clear. Let me remove this and put my indicator. I'm sport mode.
Okay.
Last time we did it was, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I can hear she wants to go. She wants to go. Ah, there's a guy coming in hot. You ready? We do this? Aye, 1, 2, 3. Where do you go to draggy? Where do you go to draggy? Where do you go to draggy? How many seconds? And we've got a heart rate.
10.57.
10.57. Okay. Not bad.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
But I love the gear shifts. So I think last time we did 0 to 100, we still got 10 point something. What? It was 10 point?
10.73.
10.7. But we were carrying heavier people in the car to go weighing. So today we had 2. I think even minus you, I might maybe do around 10. Okay? That's not a bad car. It goes. Yeah, for what you're paying for a mic. Yeah, 10 seconds is not bad. Yeah,
Will you buy this or the Atenza?
No, I'll buy the Atenza. I'll buy the Atenza. But I might not buy the Atenza if you give me anything above the premium. Do you see what is happening in front of us? You see this car playing on the road? Eh? What's going on? So I was telling you, this is very risky. Ah. I don't know what's going on. I'll let him go. So I was saying, I will not buy the Atenza if you give me something better. I feel this basic, no, I'm buying the Atenza. Any day, anytime. But if you give me anything above the premium, I might consider. Yeah. Especially facelift year 2013. Kwenda mbele. You get it. Ukiona kwanza sport. Inakaa fiti sana. Inakaa fiti. Usiongeza facelift year 2016. Sasa ndo mambo beard. Ndo unaharibu sasa. So maybe from 2016 I might consider. Okay? Get it in a premium package or a sport package. I think I'm good. If you give me that, no, I'm not buying the Atenza. Ukiharibu unipatie sasa iliko supercharged. Atenza hata wakuje 10. Staki. 355 HP. No, I'm taking that one. That's a lot. So of course, it's a car I can consider, but it depends with which option. However, try to find a value for money tuone, is it something that is worth buying or anybody else can buy? Wacha to enjoy gari, but road noise mzee. Hey. Miaka ya affect road noise, the quality ya kampuni bro. Tufanye value for money. So before I talk about value for money, on how much this car will set you back, these are 209. So this guy is selling this car at 1 million, but I believe you guys can hustle down the price, considering it has some few things that has been done to it. Being a local used car, of course, I expect it to be in few different dimensions. Kama hizi headlights, nini, but that's your job to do when you come to buy this car. You can negotiate with Moretti and you get yourself a proper deal. But before we do this, I know you guys are asking, Ibra tunaonanga MARKX ingine hapo, inaitwanga MARKX Zio. Ni station wagon. And one of the biggest misconception has been that MARKX is actually a station wagon variant of this one. So let me break the bubble. The bubble is this. Those two cars do not have anything similar except 2 things. Thing number 1 is the name, which is the MARKX. And the Zio is supposed to be pronounced Gio. So see Zio, according to Japanese pronunciation. And the only other thing that it shares is on the top spec of that car, the performance spec, they actually share the engine because it also comes with a 2GR, which is the 3,500cc naturally aspirated engine. However, remember the Mark II. The Mark II had what we call the Mark II Blitz, which was a wagon. So that MARKX Zio or Gio is based on that. So the underneath are in a relation. In fact, the Zio is based on the RAV4, is based on the Auris, hiyo platform ya RAV4 na Auris. So hapo mbele inakuja standard na 2400cc 2AZ, and that 2AZ is paired to a CVT transmission. But the reason why they created that car is because of practicality and space. Guys who are buying this car are those who are complaining, tupatie gari iko practical that can carry more things. So that is how they came up with the MARKX Zio. I believe Toyota stole from you by naming that car MARKX so that you buy it. It was produced all the way from 2007 to 2013. Ikakuwa discontinued. It goes a facelift in 2011, so it looks much better if you buy it post 2011. But it comes with only 2 engine options: the 2AZ, the 2GR, especially if you're buying the performance variant. It is front wheel burst, unlike this one which is rear wheel burst. So those are things you need to know. Even the 2GR on that car is front wheel burst, even though you can get it to 4-wheel drive. So in case you're planning to buy a Zio or a Geo, no, it has nothing to do with the MARKX except sharing that engine and the name X. So hapo nafikiri Toyota stole from the guys who are planning to buy the MARKX by dipping them into buying the Zio. However, it's still a top car and it comes with a CVT, the K112. So hiyo ni vitu ziko kwa RAV4, by the way, ziko kwa Harrier. So if you're buying that car, you know, you're buying it for fuel economy, right? Those guys who are complaining about fuel economy. However, value for money, this car is dope. I think a new one will set you back around 2.3, 2.4 million Kenya shillings. That's for 2018, 2019. It could slightly go higher if you're getting the premium, the one that comes with a 4-wheel, if you're getting the GR or the Sport, or if you get a special unit, you know, the price will just go higher from there. But a good, clean unit, unazaipatana around that figure. However, I believe this is one of the most underrated value for money car. In terms of fuel economy, I know we'll hustle around it, but this car is capable of giving you around 12 kilometers per liter because it has eco mode. But if you buy the GRX 120, no, that one you won't be able to get. Hiyo itakuchezea 10 and below. So that's something that you need to know about this car. I've been your host, Papa Scoff himself, and from me and the entire team at Conversation, see you, bye-bye, and see you the next one.